investigation in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, to be exact. It's been revealed 215 bodies were buried in unmarked graves behind a state jail in Jackson, of course. Attorney Ben Crump is now calling for an investigation. Families of the dead reportedly had no idea until last month. Some of them, those grave sites were only labeled by a number and a metal rod. Joining us to talk about it, activist Arthur Silky Slim Reed, who also works with Ben Crump. So, Arthur, this started with Dexter Wade's case back in March, right? He was an individual who was hit by a police officer, and his family thought he was simply missing, but he was dead and buried, and no one notified them.
Well, the thing about it is that he had identification on him, Isaiah, and the medical examiner gave it to the lead detective, who said he called, didn't get an answer, and they didn't worry about doing anything else. What we're finding, Isaiah, is that Mississippi is Mississippi. It's an ugly Mississippi. And this is sad because now we have 6 other individuals that has been put into the same grave. And if you look at the video from when we first went to that site, buzzards were flying overhead. And we were trying to figure out, why are the buzzards flying overhead? But it's because they're putting them in shallow graves, and the only thing that they're putting them in is a body bag without embalming the bodies. So the stench from the bodies are drawing buzzards there. It's so inhumane for anybody to do any one like that, Isaiah, is just horrible is what we can say. And that's not even a word that we should use in a situation like this. It's something that we haven't seen.
And what we're seeing here is over 200 people in this, what they consider a pauper's grave behind the county jail there. And what you guys are learning in your investigation is many of these families were never called, were never notified. Many of them still think their family members or thought their family members were simply missing, but they were dead and buried and never got a call from any investigators, any law enforcement officials or authorities in Jackson, Mississippi.
That's right. And one of the things that we faced being Mississippi is that they thought that we were playing the race card. We have white clients as well. There were white people that were buried the same way, Isaiah. And any human being that's buried the way that they're burying these individuals, it says a lot about the people that's doing this criminal act. And the only thing that we're asking, because people always look at us when we're out fighting for civil rights of individuals, the only thing that we're asking in this case, we want you to do the right thing and give them a humane burial. And the city is, so it's crazy, Isaiah, to see something like that. It's 2023. It's not 1940. But to see them just dumping bodies in a grave like that, and no name, just a number. So they'll say, well, number 13, that's Arthur Reed. Number 21 is Isaiah Carey. But we don't really know until we get the remains. The remains had decomposed so bad, we just have to take them at their word. And when you look at the story, they told us that they would exhume this body at 12 noon, but they ended up taking this young man, Dexter Wade, out of the ground at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. They say, we were not going to allow them to embarrass us with those cameras. If you're not embarrassed by what you're doing, it's shame on you.
Absolutely incredible. Now, you guys, along with Ben Crump and I think Attorney Dennis Week, you all are asking for a federal investigation, that the feds come in and take a look at this and see exactly what's going on, because there's some questions as to Dexter Wade's death when he was hit by the police officer. Whatever happened with the officer in this case? And why wasn't his family ever notified that he was dead and not just a missing person? So bottom line, you want an investigation, right?
We think many civil rights were violated in Dexter Wade's case, not notifying the family, burying him without permission when you knew who he was. That's the key issue right there. You knew who this individual was. And if you look at the Dexter Wade case, it's sad, but Dexter Wade's uncle was killed by Jackson police, and they knew the family because they was involved in an ongoing lawsuit with that family, what attorney Sweets who you're talking about. So this is very, very, very troubling for us for you to know this family already, and for you to do something like this. This was adding insult to already injury that you had done to this family, Isaiah.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee Michelle. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and the share button. Also drop your thoughts in the comment section and let me know what you think about the story here. So we got a story coming out of Jackson, Mississippi. They found 215 bodies behind a jail, and they're telling the families that they have to pay to retrieve their family members that passed on while they was in jail. So a disturbing situation is gradually unfolding in Jackson, Mississippi. Hundreds of unmarked graves were found, and the state is making the families pay to get control of their loved ones' remains. That's a damn shame. Behind Haines County Penitentiary Farm, in a place called the Paupers Field, there are 672 graves. 672 graves. So 672 family has not been or was not or couldn't find, was not notified. Authorities typically bury unclaimed and unidentified bodies in paupers cemeteries. And in this case, they are recorded with 14 pages that notes detail like age, race, genders, birth, death date, and where they were from before being buried. This log goes back to 2008, according to the Haines County coroner data. But among those 672 bodies, there are 215 burials spanning from 2016 to 2023, to which the families of the deceased was never notified. So the 215 was never notified. The information came to light after an investigation. Now the civil rights attorney, Ben Crump, you know Ben Crump gonna be on it, so you know Black people is involved, of course. He always on it. He get his bag no matter what. Okay. Benjamin Crump is advocating for the justice on the behalf of a relative and friend of an individual buried in one of those pauper cemeteries. He is representing 6 family members and more pending who were never informed of a relative death. Obviously, we've seen patterns in practice negligence and worse, unconstitutional and criminal activities. This is what Crump told the news. It's just horrifying that they put them in the ground in a bag in the first place. But it's even worse when the people are trying to ask you for assistance and you won't assist them in locating their family member. Last month, families of 3 men were buried behind a detention center without their knowledge came forward and hired Crump, determined to find answers from those responsible. Gretchen Hawkins only found out about her son's death and burial a year and 7 months after she reported him missing. Her 39-year-old son, Jonathan David Hawkins, was reported missing to Rankin County Sheriff Office in July of 2022. The department even posted a picture of him on Facebook. Crump is now the family's attorney, saying David was buried in one of those pauper graves in 2022, but the family only learned about that in 2023. They said that they were looking, but they weren't looking too hard. That was somebody said. That what Gretchen said. I guess it's one of his family members said about they was looking, but they wasn't looking too hard. I want them to lose their job because they didn't do their jobs. That's right. In 2023, Mr. Wade spent 7 months searching for her son. Dexter Way before discovering he had been killed and buried. Dexter, 37, went missing on March 5th, and despite Bannister's reporting him missing, Jackson police failed to inform her that he had been fatally struck by a police car less than an hour after leaving home. The police was aware of Dexter's identity, neglected to contact Bannister, leaving his body unclaimed for months. Besters found his body in grave number 672. It's very suspicious why they didn't notify her. She was calling them on a regular basis. All she wanted was for them to file a simple alert for her a missing person. They wouldn't even do that. All that time she spent looking for him, they couldn't just notify her, Crump said, adding that the family simply wanted justice and answers. The third family that has publicly come forward is the 40-year-old Mario Moore. Moore was found dead wrapped in a trap on February the 2nd, 2023. His death was ruled a homicide due to a blunt force trauma to the head. He was later buried on July 14th. However, Moore's family wasn't notified by the police or the coroner's office. They learned about his death in October when his name appeared on a list of undisclosed homicide victims. Damn, that's a shame. The message is very simple. We have been able to exhume and identify all of these individuals because they had a mother and a father, a son or a daughter, or relatives who loved them and needs to know whether their loved ones is still missing or if their loved ones is one of those 215 people behind the Haines County Jail, Crump said. Now the challenge for these families is that, as they stated, is handling the burial and the body that are deemed state property. That's crazy. Mm-mm-mm. To retrieve the bodies, some families are required to pay a fine ranging from $250 to $750, covering the cost of both of the death and the certificate and the body. The news made several attempts to contact the county and the city officials for more information, but was unsuccessful in reaching them. Of course, you're not gonna reach them, because what can they say? You know, this is outrage, and then they have to pay to even get them when y'all ain't even notify them. That is crazy. So y'all check on y'all people because it's just a lot going on. And these people out here don't care about nobody's life but their own. If it ain't their family member, they don't give a care. They do not care, you know. So that's really crazy to me. But check on your people. And another thing, this probably wouldn't have ever even probably came to light if Dexter hadn't been found. The family hadn't been looking for Dexter, you know, and that was brought it all to light. That's crazy. But I just wanted to bring this to you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and that share button. Yeah, this is a crazy world we live in. You know, it's like vice versa. Everything we thought was good is really bad. But when you know better, you do better. Y'all have a good day. Bye.